Holy moly! Oh my god!
So you're ready.
I was not ready, apparently. Holy crap!
Hello and welcome to YouTube's most budget-friendly canoe channel, where I spare every expense when it comes to the quality of my sound and video editing skills for this channel. I want to start out and qualify that, I'm not a car reviewer or a professional video guy. Even though I knew I was getting to do a test drive, I didn't head out there with the intent of doing a typical review video. There are plenty of other great videos out there that cover the basics, and I will link some of those in the description below. What I did want to do was to be able to capture some views and perspectives that haven't been shared before, that are brand new to everyone. That being said, this was a last minute trip, and I was using a brand new camera that I was not familiar with, and I messed up some settings. So some of the footage you might find is bad quality, or the exposure settings are wrong. I apologize for that. To give you a little backstory or context about the footage we're going to look at today, I guess because I've been such a vocal fan for such a long time, but I hadn't ever seen a canoe vehicle in real life, they invited me out to their office in Justin, Texas, to meet the gang and get to drive the lifestyle vehicle. What I experienced was amazing engineering, beautiful workmanship, and it's just the nicest people. I really want to shout out to everyone that I met there. They were all amazing, and I really appreciate everyone who shared a little bit of their day with me. You guys you're all rock stars in my mind, so thank you, Canoo, for all the hospitality. As I said earlier, I had never seen a canoe before in real life, so this was a real treat for me to get to experience them firsthand, especially after years of only seeing them from photographs or a few other videos here and there. Canoo picked me up at the airport in a canoe, which was very fitting and just such an awesome way to start out the visit there. It really made finding them incredibly easy, as the vehicle sticks out so much among legacy vehicles. My first thoughts when entering the back of the lifestyle vehicle is that pictures or even video do not do this vehicle justice. When I hopped in the back, I almost found it disorienting at how much space there is back there.
It's making my head spin how many activities we can do.
I'm gonna liken it to putting on a pair of glasses with new, stronger prescription lenses in for the first time, where the world before you, it's suddenly bigger and brighter, almost excessively so that things seem a little unsettling a bit until your brain works to recalibrate this new visual input. And so I've been trying to think how to quantify my experience into words beyond that. It's been a struggle, but I think, imagine sitting in a space like this. It's open, free of borders, no restrictions. Now how about sitting over here? The seat is firm and supportive, yet the surrounding area is also flowy and comfortable, even when you're thrown back into it from the forces of acceleration. So somehow Canoo has merged these contrasting elements into this mobile living room slash workstation that, embraces you with this blend of comfort and harmony where everything just seamlessly integrates. It's almost as if when you're back there spread out, that it's just an extension of your own body. The wraparound seating creates a cozy, intimate experience, but the expansive glass that's all around you and the endless legroom just ensure this open and unrestricted feeling. And I know that sounds embellished, but honestly, that's that's how I walked away from this feeling. Admittedly, I've only ever been back there by myself, and so I'm sure that if you stuck a bunch of people back there, it wouldn't feel as poetic as I've been about it. But then there's this whole utility aspect to it, that you can fit 5 people back there. This thing has the footprint of a Prius and seats 7 full-size adults. The reason I went in a circle like that is because I wanted to capture this image to be able to show what it feels like to have 5 people back there. And yeah, the guy in the middle, he's gonna have to lean forward if he's an adult to give shoulder room, but it's perfectly fine for a jaunt around town. You know, if I'm Uber, if I'm Lyft, I'm salivating getting my hands on this. I mean, it is no surprise that Apple wanted to buy Canoo for themselves, or that all the Project Titan leaks that we keep on hearing about, they all make reference to Canoo. It truly is like nothing else I've ever experienced while flying down the highway. One thing I really enjoyed about my experience back there is being able to have a conversation with someone in the front and not have to yell at them or strain to hear them over the air conditioning. I mean, you know, as long as the music's not blasting or they're not a low talker, you can have that conversation back and forth, which is just really nice. The only 2 negative things I noticed while I was there, and I hardly even want to mention them because this is a pre-production model and it doesn't really matter. You know, you'll see the jump seat belts waving about, and at about 75 miles an hour, the back of the rear seat had some very noticeable vibrations and shaking. Now, again, this is pre-production vehicle, so that doesn't really matter. They're not going to ship the product like that when it's ready for consumers. You know, as far as the quality of the materials in the seats and surrounding area, they were great. I don't have any footage of the premium trim model, which is what I got to ride in when they picked me up in the first place. But even the one here that we're seeing, which I think is the more base model trim, it all felt great. You know, but again, it's pre-production, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens later on. But at least take comfort in them knowing how to put together a beautifully crafted seat and interior. So this is one of those views that is sadly overexposed, but it shows the cockpit so well I got to include it. You can see here that Noel and I are obviously in close proximity to each other. There isn't a lot of room between the seats, but it doesn't feel cramped at all. And to be honest, I don't think I was ever like aware of him being so close to me. It's still very spacious in there. And you know, we aren't small folk either. I think Nolan's maybe 6 feet or taller. I'm about 5'12" myself. And one other thing that was really nice is that there are a total of 4 sun visors. You have 2 forward-facing ones that are at the windshield, and then each door also has its own visor. And this is a really nice touch because I've driven in those situations where you're getting sun in your eyes from both directions, and it's not only annoying, it can also be really dangerous. I'm not really going to cover much about the actual driving mechanics because, as I said earlier, that's been covered elsewhere by other people. But I can confirm it's excellent, very smooth handling. As you saw in the beginning of the video, it has really good acceleration and will throw you out of the jump seat if you're not wearing your seatbelt, which I should add in a disclaimer here: don't be a dummy like me, you should always wear your seatbelt. It is an electric vehicle. It behaves like one, and you won't be disappointed. Where it differs from other EVs is visibility is absolutely best in class. It's amazing. The street view window at the bottom is very unique. I think it'll really assist in parking in tight spaces and help drivers avoid damaging the vehicles or personal property, and also help keep small children or animals out of harm's way. And the wheel is obviously a different shape, and it takes some getting used to. I found it very easy to oversteer when making a turn because instinctively I would treat it like every other car I've ever driven, but you really don't need that much effort to make turns. There's a lot of finer details I skipped over and probably some larger ones that I failed to mention, so if you have any questions at all, please ask them in the comment section and I will reply to them. Thanks again to Canoo and everyone there. Like I said, you're all rock stars. Thank you to Wyote, who is also a big Canoo fan, for letting me use some of his music. And thanks to you for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see you here again in 2 weeks.